Right, well that's the first part of the chassis done. I've replaced, this is the original chassis, I had this and one handmade one, but as you can see it's a little bit bendy because it's only thin aluminium, so I need to do some, what is the plan with it? Right, so the plan was, it was going to be one piece that's on, pan out, it's going to be one piece that started here, like over, down the other side, and that would give it some rigidity, but I didn't have a big enough piece to do this all in one. So I'm going to make some piece, I'm going to bend over all the edges, and make a ridge all the way around. That'll give it a lot more strength without increasing any weight, and then that way I can make two of these and they'll bolt on to the chassis there and the car here, so therefore doing the same job, but hopefully much more rigid. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Well, that's a second part of this done now. Not if you're really able to tell, but that is so much stiffer now. There's hardly any movement in that now. What did I do? All I did was just turn to the edge. Just gives it a ridge. Excuse me. Unfortunately, because of the parts I've used from the original chassis, I had to leave these bits in. But I'll be using this. I don't know what I'm going to be using that for actually, but I'm definitely going to be excuse me, I had to raise the ride height a little, but we've got really good suspension travel, and it's still got some fair flex for an on-road. Right, well anyway, what's the plan? I'm going to make these pieces that join this part of the chassis to this, so that if I can't get this any lower, and I think I can get about another 5mm closer to the seats, all I'm going to have to do, and it's in there where the steering's under there where the steering solo's throwing. All I'll have to do is cut a little section out there. You won't see it from the outside. I'll be able to drop that quite a bit closer to the chassis. So I'm going to save on making these pieces until I've actually got it as low profile as I can get it. Because anybody who's watched my old channel will know I hate being able to see the chassis from underneath. So yeah, that's the plan. I've done wheel swaps. I've had them and them and them and them on it, and these are the only ones that fit this front arch, because it doesn't matter how you turn, there's no catching, they just don't catch, so I'm not going to knock that. Now, I don't know if anybody else has subscribed to Tom Lee RC, but he's got some of these tyres on his SD Racing 1/8 Truggy, and he said they were pretty grippy on his 1/8 Ford Fiesta, so he said these were pretty grippy, so I'm going to stick with those. It's not going to be doing much in the way of off-roading anyway. Trying to make some drift rims for it now. They look fantastic. They're old T-Max wheels. All I did was cut the back off. They look brilliant on there, but they just don't fit size-wise. They don't fit on the front, and it's going to be easier to replace the plastic I took off than to take off the plastic that's on. It just works. It just works. Leave it the hell alone. Right, so what have I got to do? I've been looking on eBay. I've got some materials to retrim the interior. I've got some nice shag pile carpet, and some like leather swatches. They're A4 sized, and they're like £2, which is about $2.50. So I've got some different colours to mix and match with there. I wait till payday next week to order them, but they're in the UK, so I should have them in no time. So I'm keeping those. I was trying to get this the bench seat in the back. Why? I've already ditched the interior in favour of like a modded 4-seater affair, so who needs rear seats? There's going to be like an ice install or something like that. Now, I've had this for a long time. It's an MP3 player with built-in speakers. You charge it up. This thing is loud. Now, it fits in there. I mean, obviously, it'll be sat better, but it could sit behind the seats. It could sit when you open the tailgate. That's going to look awesome. I may even leave the back white. Yeah, I've seen a few 1/6 scales with sound systems. There's no wiring. This thing is loud on its own. I'll charge it up next time I put this video on and we'll listen. Right, anyway, so that's so far. I've got some video editing software now, so I can record it bits at a time and edit it together later. Right, well, let's come to the end of this sort of section of the build. The chassis is finished. Well, when I say finished, I haven't got the drivetrain in, but come to that. Right, so what have I done? Yeah, we've now got the front end mounted, and as I've got more mounting points, the suspension's actually got stiffer. I've ironed out a lot of the slop that it had when I started. I was worried it wasn't going to be up to the job, but yeah. I finished the chassis plate now. I didn't have a large enough piece of metal to do it all in one go. I would have preferred it that way because it had just been stiffer and lighter. I got this piece and that section out of one piece. When you sort of jiggle bits around, I managed to get the two pieces out of one, and that one I've had to, yeah, well, once it's painted, I'll fasten a piece on the back, and you won't tell so much. It's going to get scratched to hell anyway. Just wanted to do a smooth underbelly just in case. I did decide to put some knobbly tyres on it and take it off-road because it's not got massive articulation, but yeah. It had more. I'm guessing that was slop in the chassis. So anyway, I've not done anything with the inside, but what this means is now I can pick it up, move it around. Makes the whole thing a lot easier to deal with, and when all it's not all floppy and faulty bits. So now that I've got the front end sorted out, I can actually, there is space for the battery to go in there possibly, and still get the fake engine that these came with on the top. So that scale wise, that might be cool. Where I'm going to put the gearbox, well, that's an issue. There's a space in there now. I'm not sure quite what the technical terms are for this, but I'm using a small motor. Now, these being a nitro buggy, the motor bolted straight to the centre diff, and then obviously the drive shafts come from the centre diff. So it's not like there's a real sort of clutch and gearbox assembly on this, like a slash and stuff. So I should be able to get it all in there. I may have to cut a hole in that and have something protruding out into that. I'll just sort of mock up some luggage or something. But we're done with the chassis now, so we're sort of, next step is to make a start on the bodywork. I still have some chassis work, structural work to do. Like I've got to get this mounted somehow, and this is still all floppy inside there. The two aren't really jointed together properly, so I've got to work that out. I am going to trim the interior. I think I mentioned it earlier in the video that I was planning on it, but I'm definitely going to trim the interior. I found some cheap fleece material which will make good carpeting. So yeah, that's all going to add weight to this, so we'll have to see how far I go with it. But even if I just make a shelf queen out of it, and I really wanted a Chevy Suburban, but Chevy shelves are so expensive. There's going to be people watching this going, how possibly can Ford be compensation for a Chevy? I live in the UK. I don't really subscribe to that Ford v Chevy thing. In this country, it's Ford versus Vauxhall. Vauxhall's General Motors, so I suppose it's the same thing. There's a fierce rivalry between Ford and Vauxhall owners. I suppose that's as near as I get to Ford and Chevy, Ford and GMC. Yeah. Right, anyway, that's it for now. So obviously, hopefully the next video will be bodywork. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe, rate, comment, all of the above if you could possibly manage it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.